Hi, I'm Shae from Small Talk Speech Therapy, and I just wanted to take a minute to have a chat about visuals. Visuals are something everyone uses in their day-to-day life. So it could be a picture, a sign, a logo, a photo, a symbol drawing, or a written word. They're all examples of visuals that we use in our everyday life. And as adults, we rely on visuals a lot in terms of writing notes, post-it notes, Siri reminders, lots of different things to help us organise our time and not forget about important tasks that we need to get done. And something I'd like you to think about is, how do our kids learn to organise their time, and what tools do they have available to them? And that's one of the really big reasons why I think visuals are so important for children. Children, as we know, are very visual learners, and giving them access to visuals can really improve a lot of different areas. So I just wanted to go through some of the benefits of using visuals. So using visuals can really increase children's independence. So for example, if you're going to use a visual schedule like this one here, which it has the morning routine on it, so the children will follow along, getting ready for school, getting dressed, having breakfast, and be less reliant on parents to prompt and remind all through the morning. So it's something that can give them a little bit of independence and control over how they're spending their time. Another benefit of using visuals is to decrease challenging behaviours. So potentially children might become upset when they need to complete a certain task like brushing their teeth. And if you have a visual representation of that within a schedule, they know when it's coming up, they're not surprised that there's suddenly a demand placed on them, and you might be able to put something that's reinforcing straight after the brushing the teeth activity, so that they have a little bit of motivation to just push through that difficult activity. So another benefit of visuals is to help children follow instructions. We know that visuals add meaning to verbal language. So for children who aren't quite comprehending the meaning of the words, having that visual can really make a big difference. So if you have a think about if you're traveling to a foreign country and you don't speak the language very well, if someone is saying a word to you, what sort of things would you do to problem solve how to find the meaning for that word? You would probably use gesture, look for something in the environment to prompt and cue towards. So that's a really naturalistic response if we're not understanding something that we've heard, to bring in visual supports for that. Another benefit of using visuals is to build child's vocabulary. So perhaps they come across new words, more advanced labels for words that they may or may not be using yet verbally. Using visuals also gives the child opportunity to have input into their day, because children are often at the mercy of whatever their parents have organised for the day, and that can leave them feeling a sense of, they're not really feeling any control over their day. So you might not be able to give them free choice, but you might be able to say, well, here's 3 things we're going to do today. Which one would you like to do first? And the child can then put the visual representations on a visual schedule, and they can have that input into the order of what's going to happen during their day. Another benefit of using visuals is sequencing skills. So it's just learning that first, second, third, before and after, some of that language around sequencing, and they also can learn the order of how things can be done. For example, that you put on your undies before your shorts. One other benefit that I wanted to share of using visuals is to help children with transitions. So that might be a child is really engaged in a certain play task, but you really need them to pack that up and do something else. So it might be that they are engaged in a drawing activity and they're not quite finished and they really want to finish that off, but in the school setting, possibly you don't have time, it's time for recess. So if you just have a visual schedule of the drawing and then the recess break, the child will then be prepared and be thinking about what's coming up next. So it's not such a shock for them when you say, okay, drawing's done, it's time for recess. So there are a few benefits of using visuals. And there are so many different types of visuals that you can use, and I'll do another video about those, so stay tuned and follow me on YouTube. Sign up for notifications on my website, smalltalkspeechtherapy.com.au. You can sign up there on the blog page to get notified of any new materials that I release around visual supports, because that's something I'm really passionate about, and I really think that they need to be present in children's environments more than what they are currently. So thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.